Yes, it's JD in the Duffle Bag podcast. It's myself, Chuckie Online again, and I have England International. One of the best right backs in the world right now. Yeah, playing for Liverpool, Champions League winner. Yeah, Champions League winner, a Liverpool local lad, Trent Alexander-Arnold. How are you, my guy?
Oh, I'm good, thank you. How are you?
Bro, your background is looking a lot more smoother and nicer than mine, bro. Your background looks very neat and tidy, bro.
Yeah, I've just got the curtains going on.
The first thing I want to ask you actually, is how's your gut? How's your stomach, bro? Because like in this period of time where now, like you've had a lot of time off, big break and that, is the abs still there? Is the stomach still intact? There was a lot of people that were worried about, you know, the fitness of football players and that with this time. How's your gut? What's the stomach looking like?
Yeah, it's looking all right, I think. But like you said, it's mad because I think every footballer will tell you it's weird to be fully fit and have 8, 9, 10 weeks off football or something that doesn't happen other than being injured and stuff like that. Summer holidays and that's never that long. So for us, this is all new. This is something that no one's really experienced before. So the team, we've all had to adapt to it. We've all tried to stay fit as much as possible because at the start there was no set time on how long this would last, and even still, we still don't fully know when things are gonna kick off again. So it's just all about being ready for that moment. So over the course of the lockdown and everything like that, we've stayed as fit as we can, just in case we got the nod at any given moment.
You've had a large period of time to actually just be at home. What has that been like for you personally?
I've quite enjoyed it being at home, to be honest. Just quite relaxing, quite chilled. But obviously I've missed football. The main thing was, I think for a lot of people, was just the fact that nothing was going on. The restrictions that were there. There was no other sports on TV.
Yeah.
Like when we're not playing and we're off in the summer, there's basketball finals on, or Wimbledon's on, or there's the Olympics, or there's something going on somewhere in a different sport. But obviously when everything's been shut down, it's been hard to find things to watch.
There's nothing going on. And TV looks weird. Do you know what? I turned the TV on the other day, and I'm seeing like people have been doing TV like this. So you're getting like a presenter and then like, you know, a contestant. That's like, it just feels weird to watch it like that, right?
But now it feels normal. Like that's what you expect to see. Like when you go on and you watch the news and stuff like that, you'll see two people having a conversation in different places and they're meant to be right next to each other.
Ain't that funny, like how quickly in some way that like this way of doing things has become normal now, which then makes you think like what is going to be like, what is the new normal after that? Do you get what I'm saying?
Exactly. Yeah. I think it's just our brains adapt to current situations and the way that we live. So for right now, this is how we live. This is what we've adapted to. This is what we can only really see. But yeah, obviously the thought process is hopefully things will get back to normal or normality as a few months back it was. But like you said, who knows when that'll be. Hopefully it's sooner rather than later.
Honestly, I would have thought the younger players and athletes in particular would have been like a lot more stressed out with this than some of the older players and athletes, purely because, you know, like for some of the older athletes and players, they've had an opportunity to just kick ball a lot at a high level, yeah? And you've been playing at a high level for a while, but you're still, you know, as much as you're progressing and as good as the things that you've had going on in your career and stuff like that, you're still mad young with a lot of energy. So this period of time of relaxing, I would have felt might have meant not much to you, really. Not in a sense of like wanting to chill and be at home and do family stuff. You want to be outside.
Like you said, it's weird. I think, like you said, especially with young people, normality is being active all the time, having freedom to go and chill with your friends, to go home, to socialise 24 hours a day. People are everywhere all the time, and then to be told that you can't do anything and you have to stay inside and you have to You can't go meet certain people. You can only go outside for groceries and stuff like that. It changes the way that you think, and it's something that is difficult to deal with. But for me, it was always a matter of the thought process of, well, I don't want to be part of something where other people are affected massively because of my selfish actions, because I want to go and see my friends and put other people's lives at risk and stuff like that. I never wanted to be a part of that. So for me, I found it quite easy to just sit at home and know that by doing nothing, I was actually helping people.
Do you know what though? I'm gonna say this as well, yeah. There's an element of like you can speak from a place of privilege a bit because you don't grow this. Your face don't do this, bro. Bro, I'm a clean shaven you, you know. But I don't usually have this. And because now I've like been in my house and that, like my hair, bro, is going mad. Like it's going mad. There's a part of me that's embracing it. Yours like at the top and that. Yeah, it's a bit
looking
messy.
like it's all down the back, it starts coming down your neck and stuff like that.
Watch when this starts happening. But I heard you're a chess guy, right? You like proper into chess and that. Have you been playing a lot of that?
I wouldn't say I'm proper into chess, first and foremost. It's not like I play chess religiously. It's something that I have played in the past growing up, something that I learned to play. I enjoy it when I play it, but I don't play it all the time. So when I do play, which is rarely, I do enjoy it. I'm sure in a few days or so there'll be a family game night where we'll be playing it. We were playing Cluedo the other day. First time I've ever played it.
I can't play chess. I know like super basics in it. I ain't played Cluedo ever. And do you know what I ain't played? I ain't played Monopoly. I've never played Monopoly, you know.
I'd say Monopoly is the most like common game that people will probably play. But it's a very, very long game.
Yeah.
Like
What is it like 2 hours in that?
It's not. It can go longer than that. It's a long game. I thought everyone had played Monopoly.
Is that like that's like a traditional kind of Christmas game, isn't it?
Yeah.
But do you just play Monopoly? See, like when you're out, yeah, you're traveling or whatever with like, I don't know, your guys, footballers, whatever, yeah. Do you lot play that as well? Do you lot just kick back and just play Monopoly?
Nah, because like I said, it's too long of a game. So even when you're traveling and stuff, like you're traveling on a bus or you're traveling on a plane and it's moving around, so it's hard to play. Like we play cards, stuff like that. We'll play like questionnaire games and stuff like that.
Okay.
Decent, just to pass the time and socialise as well. It's better to be talking and having laughs and socialising on the bus rather than everyone just sat there with earphones in and
Nah.
Don't get me wrong, there is times when people, well, me specifically, I'll sit there with my earphones in and I'll want to just chill by myself. But a lot of the time, I want to get involved with the boys, having banter and laughing.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with having like your own bit of space in that. I'm definitely a person who, in order for me to be bubbly and be around people that like, or for people to get the best out of my character and personality, I have to have times when I'm on my own and doing that. Otherwise, do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, 100%, yeah.
I just want to have a quick conversation about staying focused and switching off because, you know, one thing when I think about the situation that you're in particular, yeah, I am a person where if I've got a project, and I'm in the middle of a project or I'm coming towards the end of a project, I find it really difficult to concentrate on anything else until that project is finished. You see, for you, have you found that your brain has been constantly on the direction of like trying to finish the project, trying to finish the league as I talk about the project, yeah? Or have you been able to switch off? Have you been able to take this time to literally, genuinely switch off?
No, not really, because switching off would mean I've switched off, I've finished. If you get what I'm saying, like I still know that we still kind of always knew that we were going to finish the season at some point, hopefully, or there'll be a next season. So no matter what, I couldn't switch off fully because I had to stay fit. So by having to stay fit, that's making me think of why. Why do I have to stay fit? That's because we need to finish this off. We're going to finish this off. I need to be in the best shape I can be. I could switch off in terms of following a specific routine of training times and bedtimes and stuff like that. But in terms of not training, that couldn't happen because, like you said, there's always something that we need to finish. So we need to be ready for that.
Yeah. I feel like, I mean, maybe I could be wrong when I say this, but I do feel even in terms of switching off whatever that may be, yeah. Is it easier? Would you, like, taking an educated guess, would you say that maybe it's easier to kind of switch off in these moments than it would be for a manager? I always feel like it would be a lot harder for a manager to ever be able to switch off when you're dealing with so much different people and so many different things. As a player, you're essentially fixated on obviously building a team and the harmony within the team, but also your position and the role that you play. Do you understand what I'm saying?
Yeah, I know what you're saying, because as a player, we're primarily focused on playing. Literally going, make sure I'm the best version of myself when I come back. Make sure I'm fit enough, I'm strong enough, I'm in good shape, and make sure I'm at a level that is good enough to be able to come back and play. As a manager, he's got to think of, obviously, probably the financial side of things, transfers, just everything, really. All the staff, all what the fitness side of things, all the data that they're getting back from us, what shape we're in, how all his management are going to plan the sessions, what we're doing this week, how we're going to try and keep the lads fit in lockdown and stuff like that. So there's so much more for a manager to think about than a player. But essentially, he has to approve everything that comes to the players. So I imagine the fitness staff will go to him and say, this is what we're going to send the lads this week. This is how we're going to keep them fit. And he says, yeah, fine. And then all we do is we get that, we do it. He has to filter it through and stuff like that and approve everything, I imagine. So, yeah, I can imagine it to be much more difficult for a manager.
I spoke to Klopp. I had a conversation with him earlier this year, and I was trying to sort of understand how he relates to his players, and like the fact that, you're dealing with people from all different types of backgrounds and stuff like that, have all these different things that are going on in their life. From your perspective, how do you feel how has he been able to make common ground between all of you?
The way he treats people as equals, no matter, obviously, backgrounds, stuff like that, everything like that, it doesn't really matter to him. It doesn't matter what your job role is, what position you are within the club, fan, player, is coaching staff, anyone. He treats everyone as equal because everyone's just as important as each other. So I think that's something that helps us all massively to stay grounded, stay respectful to everyone, and to stay focused on our goals.
Yeah.
So as a club, it all filters through him, and it's his mentality that flows through the whole club, and even down to the fans, in terms of the way they feel about the team. They think, they believe in us, how we believe in ourselves. Just a sense of belief, and that all comes from him.
Yeah. I can't lie to you, bro. Like, I genuinely find the psychological aspect of the sport as much interesting as I do watching the game, even though there's a psychological aspect to it too, obviously. But, like, understanding the mindset of, players when, even little things where, you go, maybe you haven't even been playing that well. You ain't been playing that well for a little bit. And, you've got a fan base that is super passionate. You're hearing moans and groans and grunts and all of these type of things. Like, how a person finds himself in a place where he can be fixated on just doing what he needs to do and his job role, as opposed to, like, getting these groans and, huffing and puffing not affecting his brain. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, a lot of people don't make it because maybe they're not psychologically strong enough and can't deal with, like you say, the moans and groans and the pressure and the weight of what fans expect and what people expect of them and the criticism that comes with it.
And so, yeah, social media as well now, because obviously this is what I feel is the different. And it's always interesting when I hear like the older pundits talking about younger players and what you lot have to deal with, yeah, because the older pundits and the people that used to play never had to deal with going on the phone and then like, you know, like one day it's all love. Everyone's loving you, innit? Like everyone just loves you. And then so you now naturally gravitate to that because everyone loves you. Then all of a sudden now you are not the guy. Like they're not loving you anymore. That is a whole new level of pressure in particular that you have to kind of deal with. When it's good, it's great. But when it's not, it's hard, isn't it?
Yeah. I think, again, like you said, with the social media pressure and, like you said, like pundits and stuff like that, it's easy to fall into the trap of wanting to play well to impress them. And that can be your mindset going into games and stuff. And I feel as though that's something that would restrict people, is that if you're going into a game and you're thinking, well, I need to play well, so after the game they point out I'm playing well, or that people notice I'm playing well, or if I don't play well, it's going to be highlighted here, everyone's going to see it and stuff like that. But the mentality has to be that you've got to accept that there's eyes on you. There's millions of eyes on you all the time. When you step out onto the pitch, you're going to be criticised, you're going to be praised, but you can't let either of them affect you. Obviously, you're going to be happy when there's praise and that, and it's going to fill you with confidence, which is normal. And that's probably something that it should do. But when it's not going well and when you are getting the criticism, you should still have enough self-confidence to go out there with belief and believe that in your own abilities that you can still play well no matter what people are saying, or even if you know yourself you're playing bad, you know what level you can achieve. And it's just about trying to get back to that level somehow, and you have to find that out yourself and how to do it. It might take one game, it might be something that you need to work on in training, or it might just be something mentally that you're going through, but eventually you'll realise that I am a good player, and it's just about getting that out there.
For real. Let's talk a little bit about like mentorship and partnership. Like you've been progressing massively as a player, like and you're still young, you still got so much legs in the game, it's mad. But you see when you get someone like Virgil van Dijk, who's, you know, coming to the defense that you're a part of, like talk to me about the impact that a player and a man like that has had on you.
Virgil, what is there not to say about Virgil? Yeah, he's massive. He's helped us all. He's helped obviously himself mostly with the things that he's achieved and stuff like that, and the improvements he's made and the player he's become is all down to the hard work that he's put in behind the scenes that people haven't seen, and the way that he plays is all down to what he's doing in training and how good he is in training is just like in a game. It's having people like him in the team that don't allow their level to drop on a training, which is something that probably is routine for them now and something that they demand from themselves. But that's something that isn't normal. That people can go into training with the same mentality they do for a game, and by doing that, you make yourself a much better player because you're practicing it all the time, and it becomes a routine. It becomes some stuff like that. So that's something that I've picked up from him, is that every single day he demands the most from himself. Obviously, he was born with talent, but you could see that he's worked so hard over the past 10 years of his career to get to the point where he is now, where he is the best centre back in the world, and he will be remembered as one of definitely the best centre backs.
Yeah, there's something that does something to a certain person, when you're having to play amongst people who are playing at an elite level and sort of essentially raising your game because of what is standing next to you. Do you know what I mean? And even that, like, just diagonally behind you, your goalkeeper, Alisson, who's like arguably you know, the best goalkeeper in the world right now. You know, talk to me about that, because, you know, you've got a special defender next to you, and you've also got somebody who's playing at the highest level behind you as a goalkeeper. That can only help contribute to raising your game even more than it would you playing next to someone who's good, but different when you're playing next to somebody who's essentially special.
Like you have said, the pair of them, obviously throughout the whole team, we've got through the whole squad, even there's special players, there's world class players. So to have two that are in such close proximity to you and in the defensive line, along with the others, it fills you with confidence, because you know, like I said, from in training, you understand how hard it is to actually get past Virgil. You know how hard it is for someone to try and take him on 1v1 and get the ball the other side, or in a 1v1 with Alisson. You know how hard it is for people to score against them. So that fills you with confidence. But the communication that they have as senior players, to be vocal and talk and lead you through games, to be to push the line up, everything like that is massive. And to have the pair of them is huge for us.
Yeah. Do you have a mentor, like, outside of football? Like, do you have, like, who's your go-to? See, like, when you're away from football, do you have a go-to, like someone that you just speak to about the game and just life?
We have my family and friends. I think they're all mentors. I think the relationship I have with my brothers is really strong. I think my older brother is probably the one that I'd turn to a lot of the time, that I'd speak to. Yeah, so I'd probably say my older brother is my mentor through life and through football and parts.
I think that, like, as well, yeah, having a sort of good solid foundation behind you. I know some people talk about it lightly, but I think sometimes that can be taken for granted a bit. Like, yo, that really helps. Like, having that and being able to have family or people that you can kind of just be yourself around and not have to, you know, essentially, you know, be the person that people on the pitch think that you're supposed to be. Do you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's good to be able to just obviously come home and relax around the people that you're most comfortable with, and you can speak about anything with, and there's people there that will support you through the hardest times that you're going through, and the defeats and like you said, criticism and stuff like that. But now, and then when times are good, they're also there to celebrate with you, and they're the people you do it for. They're the people that motivate you. They're the people that you understand have sacrificed a lot for you, and you feel a need to push hard every day to make sure that them sacrifices weren't wasted.
Yeah, for real. But do you know what the positive maybe thing in this time for you actually, is that, you know, like, a lot of times when you win things or you have accolades and all of that, like, you're kind of onto the next thing, then to the next thing, then to the next thing. And then once your career's over, then you can kind of reflect back onto special moments in your life, You must have been able to do hella reflecting while you've been in your house. And one of the things that you must have reflected on strongly was that Barcelona game where, like, I know that you won the Champions League, but that game in particular, from like going, like, losing the game, the first half of the game, coming back and then winning the game, I've always kind of wanted to know little bits of, you know, there are moments when, like, not even just you, but let's just say, like, we've seen it a bunch of times in football where, you know, teams, like, down, they're losing, and then they come back out the next part, and then they come and they win the game and that, What is that conversation like? Because I know, you see me, I know that there's certain managers that will probably come in and be like, you know, you trained hard, you know what to do, that, and just do your thing. See me, I'm definitely the manager who would kind of be on the vibe of, listen, bro, I'm in your face, like, listen, you are the best right back in the world, bruv. Like, you think no one's talking to you today, bro. So see, when you go outside, that's the type of manager I feel like I would be in it. But, like, is that what was happening before that game when you went back to Anfield? Or was it like super calm, like, you know what, you lot know, you know what to do, man. Just go out there and do that.
It was chilled. I'll be honest. It was
Chilled, bruv. How can man, I don't understand that. How can man just be chilled? I would be wilding out. There must have been one person in the changing room that was like, listen, like, this is what's happening today.
Right, so obviously the week before we've been beat 3-0. So all through that week, we've forgot that game. That game's whatever. We're on to the next game, which is Newcastle on the weekend. Won that. Now, yeah, we need to focus back on Barcelona. But we're chilled. We're really chilled. Still, like, we're not amped up for it because we're still 3-0 down against Barcelona, best team in the world. Messi, Suarez, these players. So you know how hard it's going to be. So really, I was relaxed. I was relaxed sleeping the night before. I was relaxed. Woke up, went to train and stuff like that. Normal. And then, like, even still, it went. I don't know. I never had the feeling of a huge semi-final like I did the season before, because I felt as though the game weren't as big because of the position we were in. So I thought I never had too much belief. As you can imagine, with 3-0 down, we would have to take a miracle.
And it's Barcelona.
We would have to take a miracle. So there weren't too much belief. So I was just relaxed and going into it. I was chilled. The manager spoke before the game, and he said, "It is impossible, but because it's you boys, there's a slight chance."
Yeah.
So we knew there was a slight chance, like, going into it. So yeah, in the changing room, it's still a game. You want to win every game. So once you're in the changing room, once you're just about to play, you're hyped up. You don't want to lose. You're at home. Like I said, it is Champions League semis. The fans are there. It's a big game. You're about to play against Barcelona. You're playing against Messi, your heroes, best player in the world, best player ever. These are the people you're playing against. It's a big game now. So yeah, I was hyped. But I weren't focused on the scoreline. I knew what it was about, but I wanted to just play as well as I could because it was a big game. And then yeah.
This is why you're obviously, he's the best manager in the world in that at the moment, and like, essentially that tactic is the best one. That is the best, because you know what, Boom, you're playing Barcelona. It is a bit impossible, but you guys are special though, so believe in yourself and that. I might have antagonized the situation, and I would have been in man's face. What? Messi? I don't even know who that is. We don't even know. We're not even acknowledging that today. That would have been my. That would have been my vibe. I don't know how progressive it would have been, but what I will say is, you know, like, your assist for the fourth goal was definitely a lot about essentially trusting your instinct, right? Talk on that.
Mm-hmm. I might have tried it once before in training, just like in a training game. So as you can imagine, our in our sessions, it's competitive. We're doing set pieces. We're always looking for little ways to catch the other team sleeping. So we want to score against our opposition in training. If we can do a short corner, a short free kick, and score, then we're happy. So I might have done it once, maybe a year ago or whenever. It weren't something I've done commonly. But yeah, like I said, I got the ball, put it down. I weren't meant to be taking the corner, by the way. I literally weren't. So as I've been walking off, that weren't part of the plan. I was walking off because Shaq was meant to be taking it. But as I've walked off, I've took about 2-3 steps. I've looked, and I've seen, I've just seen Divock in the middle of the box alone. And I've thought, why not? Why not? So obviously took it. But at the time, I didn't realise how big it would actually be. Like, I've just thought, I've took a corner, and like, I didn't realise that it'd be something that stuck with my name, and something that when people hear my name, that's what they think of.
Understand, yeah. That will, like, you will always. That will never leave when people talk about you. You're gonna go on to do a lot of amazing things, yeah. More so than now, but see that. That is something that people, and you in particular, will always go back to, and that's such a beautiful thing, bro. Like, seriously.
Yeah, I understand that, but like I said, in that moment, I just thought I didn't realise what it was. I thought I've assisted the fourth goal.
Yeah.
Let's try and win this, and then I've come off, and then I've realised that was kind of special. Yeah,
It was a moment. Yeah. The power of Anfield, though, I feel like, it's one of them stadiums where everyone knows about Anfield, innit? But it's like that superpower that Liverpool have that not everyone always knows how to deal with when coming there. Speak on that a little bit.
It flows through the people. Like everyone in Liverpool has a huge passion. So whatever that is, whether that's football, whether that's politics, whether that's whatever it is, if you speak to someone about what they're passionate about from Liverpool, they could speak for hours on end about it, and they'll try and persuade you into believing what they believe in. So when it is football and it is Liverpool, the Liverpool fans are probably the most passionate in the country, if not in the world. And it's a stadium that has a feeling in it. That's how I could describe it.
Yeah.
And that's how people described it to me. It's almost as though the stadium has a feeling when you come into it. So I imagine that's the same for opposition players, which probably intimidates them. You'll never walk alone. Another something that's very special as well, something that will be intimidating. So I think even before we kicked off, there's a lot of things that happen to the opposition and the opposition fans and people. It'll play in people's heads. It's an iconic stadium. People have always wanted to visit it, wanted to play it. So maybe they build up the occasion in the head and stuff like that. But whatever it is, something about the stadium is very, very special, and the fans.
A couple of my brethren, they're Liverpool. Like one of my best friends in particular, well, two of them, they're like really big Liverpool fans, yeah. And for a while, I'm not gonna lie to you, bruv, I was a hater. But then when I started to really understand it, I started to really see how special that is to the club and just the stadium as a whole, and then you kind of get to that point where you're like, I can't hate on that. I can't. It's something that you don't see everywhere.
Yeah,
and sometimes when you don't see something everywhere, and it means so much to people, you kind of got to take a step back and think, okay, why is that? And then when you do that, that's when you start to realize and start to understand like the greatness in those type of moments, You went on anyway to win the Champions League and stuff like that. What was more fulfilling in that short moment? The whistle, see the final whistle, it's done now, boom, you've won it, or actually lifting the trophy?
For me, the final whistle was irrelevant, really. It was Divok's second goal in like 88th, 89th minute, I don't know. When that goal went in, that's when that might as well have been the final whistle because the game was over and I just won it. So for me, that's when I won it. I didn't win at the final whistle, I won it at that goal.
Yeah.
So if I'm saying that goal or lifting it, I'd say the goal.
Yeah.
I'd say the goal. Obviously, the dream always was lifting it.
Yeah.
But the feeling when the goal went in, and for me, the final whistle, it was. That's the moment when you've just done it.
Yeah.
And you have to wait for the trophy and stuff like that, and you're celebrating in between. But at that very moment, the feeling of you've just won it, it can't be beat.
Yeah, I could see why you would also say the goal as well, because it's like in the stadium and amongst everyone else, it's like yes, like we've done, like you haven't you ain't 100,
yeah,
but you've know that like you've got more than one foot over you got more than one.
Yeah, because in the game, I felt as though Tottenham weren't going to score. Obviously, no disrespect to Tottenham, but I felt as though they never had any clear chances. They never threatened us too much. I felt as though defensively we were really good, and I didn't feel like we were going to concede at any point. So It was just about holding out. And then once we scored that second goal, I knew they'd struggle to score one.
Yeah.
And they definitely weren't going to score two. So for me, that's when we won.
Yeah, talk it, bro. They weren't scoring again. I hear it. I hear you still. Listen, this is what I'm saying as well, yeah. This is why, see, like the football behind like closed doors and that, which is looking like it's going to happen and that, there's not going to be no fans. I'm not mad at that so much because, like, I'm curious to hear the smack talk. Because I want to hear at certain points, like, you might not hear it properly, but like there's gonna be hopefully certain moments of little light smack talk in that. You're not a smack talker like that though, are you? Or are you? Honestly. Have there been times when you've let a man know, listen, like on the pitch, bro, like you're in my pocket tonight, bro?
Nah, to be honest, nah.
Have you felt it? Have you ever looked at a man and said, you know what?
Yeah.
This is not happening for you today.
Yeah. I all through the game, I think most players say they speak to themselves in terms of like the mentality that you have to create and the environment that you need to create as well. Like to make it personal, you need to have them reasons as to why you need to win this game and you need to win this battle and stuff like that. So throughout the game, I'm always speaking to myself to try and motivate myself in certain situations and stuff like that. But very rarely do I say out loud.
Like, I don't know if you watched the Michael Jordan documentary, yeah?
Yeah.
But you know, like he was a smack talker in training in particular. Yeah? Like, who's the smack talker in training within your? There must be one man in the thing that has got a lot to say.
Nah, I don't think anyone. No one's really like that in our team. No one's really like that. There's competitiveness in terms of like if we do like shooting and that. I'll be like to Ox or Robbo. Let's go. Let's see who scores the most here, or stuff like that. Or when it's fun, like it's not serious. So in an 11v11 game,
yeah,
everyone's focused. They're like that. You switched on. If we go into like a shooting drill, and there's laughs and people are missing and there's a bit of laughs and stuff like that, that's when we can talk to each other.
Yeah,
but, like I said, we've created environments through the manager where there's times when we can joke around a little bit and have fun, but when we need to switch on, that's when we're fully switched on.
For real. Did you watch the Michael Jordan doc though, by the way?
Yeah.
Was, right? Like, I thought it was kind of interesting actually how he used, and you just spoke on it not that long ago, but kind of like finding moments.
Yeah, like different motivations.
Yeah. And I guess you kind of got to do that when you start winning and you start, you know, like achieving certain things. I guess there has to be like almost a sort of, everyone probably does it in different ways, but there has to be different shifts in mindsets in order to get yourself fully motivated again, to make people know that, no, actually, I'm not just doing this once. I'm going to do it again and I'm going to achieve it again, you know?
There's so many things you can use in motivation. I think a lot of people would say that, when the play, I know from my experience as well, when I'm playing against maybe someone that I know or someone that I have contact with, it gives me more motivation to make sure that they can't have banter about what they've done to me.
Yeah.
So if I'm playing against someone who's from the England team now, I'm thinking, I can't let him do that to me.
Yes.
And come to England and laugh about it. So there's my motivation. So, and I feel as though, like you said with Michael Jordan, a lot of athletes would say when they make it personal with someone, when you focus on it and think you're not getting past me, or I'm going to make sure you don't score or you don't assist or you don't dribble past me, that's when you're focused 100% on solely that thing and you can perform better.
Before I let you go, what you been listening to? You been listening to anything at the moment? Are you like... I know it's difficult. It's different now because people are spending a lot of I know you're back at training though. But are you listening to anything at the moment?
Nah, obviously, Gunner's just dropped his new album, so I've been listening to
Oh, yeah.
that.
They're good.
Yeah, decent. Yeah, so it's difficult, like you said. When you're at home, I like to listen to things on the go. So
Yeah.
like when I'm driving to and from training, when I'm at home, I don't really sit there playing tunes. So I've been catching up on what's been released and stuff like that.
Yeah. I've
But
been actually going back and listening to a lot of old stuff. I listen to like some of the new stuff that's coming out, but I've been going back and like I had a moment where I was kicking back and I must have spent about an hour and a half listening to just Gets' old stuff and just kind of refreshing, and also just kind of listening to how certain things might have aged and that.
yeah.
I'm still listening to it. There's a kid called Nux, who's had a project out last year. I'm listening to him, and then there's a guy called Ted Ness. He's got a really good album that came out this year. He's a rapper, but
It's
yeah,
also I find it also interesting, but like you said, when you go back to like that, not that era because we're probably still in that, but like if you go back 10, 15 years or even further than that and you listen to rap, that a lot of the stuff that they're rapping about, it's like these things are still going on.
definitely.
Not much has really changed in terms of like they're rapping about the stuff that they're doing on the roads and what's going on the streets and how they're getting treated and things that happen in their childhood, and you realize that nothing's changed from that, and that's obviously something that's needs to change.
That's true, bruv. I think that's an important thing that you just mentioned there, actually, because even when you look at what's happening at the moment, there's a lot of people are upset. A lot of people are voicing how their experiences with race and that in particular. And you're right, like you kind of go back to certain songs, yeah, and you listen to certain things that people were saying a long time ago, and nothing has really changed. I think sometimes people think maybe because people are not like there's no shackles and stuff like that all of a sudden that society is in an amazing place, but that
Yeah,
is far from the truth.
yeah, exactly. It's like I said, I feel as though not much has changed from when I'm listening to them type of tunes or when I'm listening to like Tupac and them. Not much has changed, and you listen to songs and they're talking about their wanting changes and they want to see a different world and stuff like that. And such big artists with big platforms and such a big voice, still things that they get ignored, or maybe it does change for a short period of time, and maybe things do go quiet for a little bit, but it always sparks back up somewhere, and there's always going to be problems. So until all that's sorted, then there will be people who are always upset.
Yeah, for real, bro. It was good talking to you, man. Serious.
Yeah.
Good luck with the future and the rest of the season and everything else. And boy, yeah, I'm sure at some point we might connect again. I'll probably, you know what I mean? I won't have this. Shout out to JD the Duffle Bag podcast. Listen, I'm going to get a trim, JD, soon. Don't worry, it's coming, innit? Like, honorable shout out to Under Armour as well. But yeah, bro, like, continue on to more greatness and stay focused and do all of that stuff. And yeah, all the best, brother.
Thank you.
Yeah, man.
Thank you.